Yay! Welcome to day 3 of Sacred Ways, Sacred Secrets to Design and Live Your Best Life. How we do anything is how we do everything. So I am going to set an intention. We were already connecting with some of the beautiful women that were here on the call with our video cameras on. We've shut them off. So I'm going to set an intention. I do this every day in my life, and I have since July 8th, 2017. I have set an intention with my word for the day, either from my poster full or my pocket full. And my word today is excited. So I am excited to be here with all of you, whether you're watching the replay, say replay if you're watching the replay, or if you're here alive. So I call in this divine presence that has thousands of names in thousands of languages. God, Dieu, Dios, Yumala, higher power, great spirit, divine one. I call you to be here right now, the Sophia, all the archetypes, all the divine feminine. Oh, what's the word I want to say here right now? Divine feminine beings, the beings of the most high, unknown angels, beings of light, the ascended masters. Let's call on the ascended masters as well. Isis in particular, Mary Magdalene, Christ consciousness, Allah, Buddha, Sai Baba, and support us in being wide awake and rising so that we may be excited on our adventurous journey, rise up with results and open to the possibilities. Those are our words today that everyone has contributed. So let's breathe that in. Awesome. So those of you who were here on day 1 or day 2, I would love if you type in the chat. We had the acronym SPARKLE. So I'm going to review those quickly. But what do you remember? What does the S stand for? What does the P stand for? And today we are going to drop into the rest of the SPARKLE, ARKLE, the SPARKLE, into the acronym of SPARKLE. So what do you remember? What does the S stand for? What was your takeaway? And what does the P stand for? Type it in the chat. And what was your biggest takeaway? And some of you yesterday made a list of things and ways of being that bring you pleasure. So maybe even any ahas or awarenesses that you've had since day 1 and day 2. And I see already in the chat, yes, S is for sacred. And cannot say this enough. And I'm going to give an example in a moment. How we do anything is how we do everything. And when you bring sacredness to every single moment of your life as much as possible, your life will just expand in and be designed for your best life because you will be aligned with source. And I know a lot of you on the call already have practices that you do, and you're here to sharpen those practices. So I'm going to read the chat in a moment here. And I see, yes, some people put pleasure as well. So S is for sacred, P is for pleasure, and pleasure actually matters. We talked about yesterday, so you could go, I'll have it on YouTube hopefully in the next couple of days, but you can go and watch day 2, and we talk about pleasure and how actually pleasure matters. It's your birthright, and it literally nourishes your vital organs, literally nourishes your brain, literally nourishes your heart and your lungs. All of your master glands, all of your organs, vital organs in your body are nourished by pleasure, and not just sex, but pleasure, just pleasure, things that bring you pleasure. So some of you made a list of pleasure, things that you bring you pleasure. If you weren't on that, I highly recommend you do. And I'm going to share the chat now, see what else you wrote here. All right, we'll bring that up, keep them coming in. So I may have to turn this because the light is so beautifully bright. All right, sacred pleasure, ask, attract, receive, yes, know, love, and envisioning. So those are the acronyms for Sparkle. So I was using the acronym of Sparkle, which honestly came in a beautiful divine moment because I love acronyms. They help us to remember things. I'm going to come back to this in a second. So who remembers what FAST stands for? So if you want to learn and have things go from your short-term memory into your long-term memory in your brain, Fast. We briefly went on this yesterday. So what parts of fast do you remember? What does the F stand for? What does the A stand for? What does the S stand for? What does the T stand for? Let's see if you could drop those in the chat. FAST. And I'm gonna have some fresh squeezed orange juice in Yucatan here. There are so many oranges, fresh oranges growing right now. Yes, fast is forget what you know. So forget what you know about designing your life. Come to this new, come to it curious, come to it wide awake. A is action. So I would love to know in the chat, and I'm going to read aloud what some of you wrote already that I was the questions I've already asked. What action, those of you that were on day 1 and day 2, what action did you take yesterday so that you could move the information that you learned from short-term memory to long-term memory? What is the action, one action that you took? Short and sweet, just a few words. It doesn't have to be a whole sentence. So yes, forget, and then A is action. S is state, your state of mind, your state of heart, your state of your beingness, your emotional states matters, your mental state matters, your physical state matters, which is why I love believer patterning and picking every single day, picking a word, because it always raises my vibration. And when I go through, when I have ick that comes up and I walk through the 7 steps of belief for patterning, which I use with my one-on-one clients and in our pleasure program, it literally shifts you from here, from draining emotions, draining energy to uplifting all the time, all the time. And, you know, sometimes myself included, I need to reach out to my team and my support and my coach and mentor. And then T is teach it. Teach this to somebody else. Teach what you learned today. Go out and teach it to somebody else. And then I would love if you all come back and comment on my YouTube link, especially since I am not on Facebook where I had 5,000 followers. Come and help me get, my goal would be, my intention would be to get to 1,000 followers on YouTube. I think I'm at 300 or something like that, or maybe just under 400. So I would love your help to invite people to subscribe to me on YouTube. All right, so what else have we got? Let's see. So Dalmain says she blessed all her food yesterday and was more aware. Yay, beautiful. So da, 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 da. I really appreciate yesterday on an intimate moment with my love. More so than I have done before. Awesome. Being really present and envisioning. Yes, we're going to talk about that. Okay. And then let's see what else we've got here. I'm trying to find where you wrote what you learned. What's your takeaways from yesterday? Love thyself. Yeah, sacred pleasure. Love thyself. I do want to know, some of you who were here yesterday, a few more about what your takeaways were. Discussion with your husband. Awesome. Stopped some negative self-talk. Excellent. Let's see here. Restarted my, I'm sorry, it's it. Oh, juicing routine, nourishing yourself. Beautiful. Awesome. Thanks, Michelle. Stopped the negative self-talk with Dalmain. Shannon had a beautiful discussion with her husband. Okay, awesome. Keep them coming. And at the end of today, we're going to set some intentions as well. So give me a yes in the chat if you are ready to hear about the A in Sparkle today. I'm so excited. I was like, couldn't like yesterday. I wanted to share so many of these. So awesome. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. I've seen lots of yeses. So the A is you have to ask. Type in the chat, ask. You need to ask. And you need to ask the divine, higher power, God, Dios, Yumala, whatever you want to call that higher power. We need to ask. And here's the thing is we have free will. So the divine is not going to impose things on us. It's us to ask. But here's the cool thing is I actually know, it's not just believe, but I know for myself that what I ask, the divine already wants for me. Okay. So we need to ask. And I learned this practice and have been really deepening it recently. And let me backtrack and then I'm going to give you this super cool practice. So we need to ask, and oftentimes what we're asking is what other people want for us. So part of asking is to have time in solitude. Okay, so ask from this place of going within yourself, gifting yourself every time to like day. My morning starts with myself and God and source. I don't, normally I would be another half an hour or hour before I actually be on, but because of the time differences and trying to accommodate everybody, I came on a little bit earlier. But normally the first 1, 2, 3 hours of my day are devoted to my practices, which is why I've not missed a day, because it's not just a discipline with an outcome and a goal. It's actually part of my identity. It's who I am. I am devoted to my best self. So when you move your discipline, and we talked about this, I think yesterday or on the first day, when you take your discipline and turn it into a devotion and an identity, somebody write that in the chat. Take your discipline, turn it into a devotion, and it's your identity. Like, I am a spiritual woman who is connected to source. Um, I'm a healthy, vibrant woman. I'm 64 years young and I feel and look younger today than I did at 40. But it's because I tell my body and I tell myself, thank you for typing that in the chat. I tell myself that I am that. So then it's non-negotiable to do my practices because it's who I am. It's not something I'm forcing myself to do. It's who I am being and it's who I am becoming. Okay. So ask for what you desire. And in order to do that, you have to get clear with your own alignment with source. Otherwise, you're asking from other people what they want you to do. And I don't know about you, but just put R if you can relate. Most of my life, I wasn't asking. I was just taking what everybody else was telling me I should do to be a good daughter, a good wife, all of those things. Okay. And I don't know about you, but it kept me alive, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. I don't get to design my life. Okay. So you need to ask. And I'm going to give you a few minutes. I'm going to give you a couple minutes. So you will need paper for this. I'm just moving it so I don't look totally naked here. There we go. Um, I'm going to give you, you're going to need paper because we're going to write some things down. I'm going to give you a practice to do in a moment because you can't ask if you don't know. I have invested a lot of time recently in deepening my asking because I think sometimes we don't ask because we don't even believe we deserve it. Or we think who, and I told some of you, I swear, but it's important for emphasis. So if you have a problem, we can repattern it, get over it. So now I forgot what I was going to say on that. It's so adorable when I'm human. So I didn't even know what I wanted. So in order to ask, we have to get really fucking clear on going deep within ourselves and asking and then repatterning and transforming the beliefs. That's one of the things with my clients, especially in our pleasure program, is we transform the beliefs so you actually believe that you deserve what you're asking for. And I believe that your desires, that the divine has actually placed them there because they will allow you to align with your destiny, with your purpose. Because when you have those desires fulfilled, you can align your purpose and your destiny. That's my belief that I have repatterned. So I've invested a lot of time the last little bit in that. So the practice I want to give you is asking and then letting go of the attachment. Okay. And I'm going to give you a practice that's going to help with that. And then we're going to have some time to dive in for 2 minutes into your desires. So the practice that I want to give you is called It's No Big Deal. Somebody typed it in the chat. It's no big deal. I want you to think of something that you desire right now. And I actually want you to type them in the chat. So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. And I want you to think of 3 things that you desire that if I could wave my magic wand, they would be like, holy fuck, that would be wonderful. And maybe something that you haven't even asked for because they're just like too luxurious, maybe, or they're just like, I don't need them, but I desire them. So, for example, for me, one of them is this year, I really want to go free diving, and maybe dive with the dolphins in the wild. Okay, so that's one of them. Another one is I want to have my own retreat space by the ocean with my own saltwater pool where all of you can come and we can go swimming in the ocean together. We can have our tropical sacred goddess Yoni temple retreat at my place. I can have my friends and family come and hang out with me. What's my third one? I just wrote these down recently too. Um, oh, one of them is to go to France, to Chartres, and to walk on the labyrinth that Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ of Nazareth walked. So it is told. They walked, and I want to go to that labyrinth. I want to go on a pilgrimage, Mary Magdalene, the pilgrimage in France. Okay, so those are my three things. So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. I'm going to have my orange juice, and I want you to just anything that comes, and you can change your mind later. So for fun, I'm going to wave a magic wand, and I want you to write at least one of your desires in the chat and just put D for desire and then whatever it is. That might just be like, oh, if you had that this year, it would make your heart sing. And maybe for some of you, it's to come to our Tropical Sacred Goddess Yoni Temple Retreat, the second annual one that will be happening at Villa Amol de Mar by the sea in November 24th to December 1st if it was your first time, and December 1st to 8th if you've already been there before or you've already been in our pleasure program. So, all right, let's see if I can easily. I'm going to do my example, and then I'm going to have you do it with yours. Actually, maybe I'll pick one of yours here. So, actually, we'll pick mine because it's easier to do my own. So keep your desires coming in the chat, and I'm going to give you an example of it's no big deal. So, um, so I'm going to talk about my retreat center. So I have a conversation with God, with the divine, and I say, God, I would love my own home and retreat center by the ocean, a little bit further back, so I have some space from the wind with lots of plants in front, my own saltwater pool. With little casitas on the property where my friends and family can stay, where my clients can come and stay. I'd like to have my own office space, my own saltwater pool. And that would be so nourishing and so much fun for me to have that. It would bring deeper connection with everyone in my life. It would make my life easier. Then I could go skinny dipping in my pool all the time, my saltwater pool. I could do my Watsu classes, my Watsu sessions for people, floating them. And that would just align me even more with my purpose, God. But God, this is no big deal. It's no big deal. If it doesn't happen, it's okay. I have a saltwater pool here where I'm staying. I am 2.5 minutes from the ocean. And last year, I was 2.5 minutes from the ocean and I had a pool. And where I stayed on the other side of Mexico, I was like 1 minute from the ocean and I had a saltwater pool. So if it doesn't happen, it's no big deal, God, because I am like so excited and happy with what I have right now. Like it's just no big deal. Ah, type in the chat, how does that feel? And I'm gonna have you take one of yours and I'm gonna have you do that with yours. And I'm gonna pick one of yours here. So I want you to do the same thing that I just did with yours. I'm just gonna read a couple in the chat here. So you're gonna like tell what you're so excited about if you could have this desire. So talk to the divine. Hey God, I'd really like this, and that would provide this, and that would feel like however it would feel. And you feel it as if it's already so. You build the excitement, you build the energy, and then you say, but if it doesn't happen, God, it's no big deal because I'm like so happy. So I give you another example because it's hard for me to read the chat right now. I'm going to read all the chat later. So one of them would be a beloved partner. I know some of you want a beloved partner, or maybe you have one and you want it to go to the next level. So you could say, source, God, higher power, divine one. I really love a beloved partner, someone to travel with, someone to make love with, to wake up to in the morning, someone to have breakfast with, to share my my mango and papaya and fruit in the morning. somebody to gaze at the moon with, someone to dance kazemba with. That would be on my list. And oh, that would be so amazing. And somebody to support me when I'm crying and laughing, somebody to lift me up when I fall down, somebody to share this epic life that I have with. And it would just also help me to have even more energy to do the work that I do, God, and to support my clients and be the best leader and the best teacher in my pleasure program. And that would just feel, oh, that would feel divine, God, to have that. But you know what? If it doesn't happen, it's no big deal because and I do actually have my beloved on his way to come to Mexico in like 4 days. So, but before this, I was saying if it doesn't happen, it's no big deal because I love myself, God. I like love myself so much. I'm so happy in my relationship with myself. So happy with my relationship with you. So if it doesn't happen, it's no big deal. Okay, so that's what you want to play with yours. So I'm going to read a couple of yours here if I can lean in. Um, so I've got let's see, temple home, awesome, and fulfilling. I think I might have to read these others. For some reason, the way the light is coming in, or I could go grab my glasses. Maybe I'll grab my glasses. And I'm going to give you um 1 minute. And what I would like you to do is I actually have a special book that I write this in. Let's see if I can find my cute little book here. Later, you can transfer it into a special book. Okay. So I have a special book where I write my desires and I write them as if they're already true. I'm so grateful for this. And then I love what actually helps me feel them more is to do the it's no big deal practice. Because if I just imagine and I say I'm so grateful that this is happening, it doesn't really work for me. It doesn't feel real. I feel like I'm lying or faking it. So when I started to be able to take it to this, it's no big deal, God, I could actually feel what I wanted as true and I could visualize and imagine it happening. And then I can say, but it's no big deal if it doesn't happen, God. So it takes the pressure off instead of being like think of it as you're dating somebody or, when you have somebody and let's say they come. So most of you are women on the call, if not all of you. And some men might be listening. So whatever you are, think of your partner. And if you're, whatever you're into. So if you're into men, you could think of it as a man. If you're into women, think of women. So for example, for me, let's say if somebody came to me and they were really needy, like just like, I have to have you. I want you as my wife, as my woman. And they were from this needy, needy place. I'd be like repulsed, right? And it's no different with the divine. If we're like needy and I have to have this, and we're so attached to our goals, not only does it tie the hands of the divine, and the divine can't give us that, but it actually is repulsive, and the universe is repulsed from us. The divine is repulsed. So we're vibrating here from this place of I have to have it. So when you do that, it's no big deal. It raises your vibration up here. So um, give me one in the chat if you would like 1 minute to deepen your desires and just give yourself a minute to just flow without any judgment. Just put one if you would like 1 minute, and I'm going to grab my glasses. So you're just going to write any desires that come, like open to connection with source right now. Maybe you say a quick prayer like, help me, God, connect with my highest desires that are going to help me with my highest purpose. Okay. And then you're just going to write without judgment. It doesn't mean you're going to have or do or be these things, but they're opening to them, opening what does the divine want for you? Okay. So I am going to pause our recording and I'm going to give you a minute. So grab a piece of paper and just write, just drain your brain, empty it out, all of your desires. Go ahead and do that now. All right, know that you can continue with this list. I want you to type one more of your desires in the chat, and then I'm going to give this example with a couple of you here. So type one more of your desires, something that, wow, if that happened this year, you would be like over the top doing a happy dance, sending me a note saying, wow. Okay, let's see. Mm. So type your desires. Oh, I love that I see them coming. Ooh, I'm seeing a few exciting ones. And you can like all have some of that. Awesome. Okay, let's do a couple of these for fun because they're just so amazing. Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to take a couple of them here. I'm going to read off what I hear so far there. So, attending the Rise Festival. Yay, Delmain. I will be at the Rise Festival. It's end of August. Oh gosh, it's many, many ones. I highly recommend joining us. Shannon would be for Jim's retirement. Irene, 1 month in Hawaii. Tammy, travel again to warm place to heal. Yeah, come to the sacred, tropical sacred goddess Yoni Temple retreat. And then we also had Irene said her forever temple home, swim with the dolphins, sing together with beautiful people. Shannon Winters in Costa Rica. Delmain, a Mary Magdalene pilgrimage. Money independence. And you want to get even more specific on that. I know there's a few more of you on the call. I really do want to know all of you. What is at least one desire? Type it in the chat. And if you're watching this, the replay on YouTube, please let me know below. So let's play with a couple of these. So Tammy, you had fulfilling jobs. So I want you to be even more specific. If I could wave my magic wand, what would a fulfilling job be for you? And that might be something that, get some support from me or somebody else, because sometimes we need a deeper space or someone to reflect that back so that we can actually go into like, what is that? Because you want lots of detail for your desires, and then you want to let it go to God. Because careful what you ask for. You might get exactly what you ask for, and you're like, oh, I could have been more specific. So be really specific with your desires. So invest some time. I invested hours the other day, and I'm going to invest some more time today. And then I invested time on my birthday again to like really drop into, what do I desire? So that's important to actually invest a lot of time in that. Get as specific as possible. And then by doing it's no big deal, let go of the attachment. So non-attachment, let go of the expectation. So you feel it as if you desire it. You get really clear on really specific. You paint, like when I was talking about my home, and Irene talked about temple home, you get really specific. I want a saltwater pool, not just a pool. I want a saltwater pool that I can swim lengths in. I can do Watsu practices. So it needs to have the right, depth and everything. And I also love, write this one down. Somebody type this in the chat. I set out my desires. And then after I do, it's no big deal. I ask for what I want and then I write it down. It's really important that you write it down. It's like when you write it down, it takes it to a different level with the universe and in your brain. And then you want to revisit them too and feel them. So when see if I can find that train of thought. So you write it down, no big deal, let go of the attachment. And then at the end, you say this or something even better. I got the something even better this time. Okay. I got the saltwater pool, 2.5 minutes from the ocean, and my beloved's actually coming to Mexico. We met at the Rise Festival, and I had said to the universe what I wanted with my beloved, and I met him there, and we had a beautiful time together. And then I left to Mexico, and I let him miss me, to be honest. And I kept holding space for the highest, either with him or someone even better. And then he said to me, can I come and visit you for a week? And then he said, how about a month? So he's going to be arriving here in a few days. And I keep getting something even better with him. Like he loves music. He's learning kazamba with me. He loves to play crib. We both like to adventure. We like to hike. We like to like. I keep getting this something even better. The more I get to know this man, the more I go, wow, I got these spiritual, great lovemaking. The more I know this person, the more lovemaking. The more that's funny. The better it gets. I keep having even more of my desires are taken. And I don't know 100% if it'll work out with him, but I keep holding the space for this or someone and something even better beyond my wildest dreams and imagination. Okay. So ask, get clear on your desires. It's no big deal. Let go of the attachment. Don't tie the hands of the universe. Let the divine do it their way because it'll always be better. And then put the letter R if you're ready to hear the R, the next one. And then we'll do a couple of these here. R, okay. I was a bit premature. Okay, so I want to do a couple more here, and then we'll move on to the R. So I know you're ready for the R. Okay, so awesome. And Michelle's got one here too. So let me read that one, and then I want to do a couple more examples of It's No Big Deal. So Michelle wants living on my section of natural land with a private spring-fed lake. My equine healing Art Barnes facility is, yeah, she's got, her work is amazing. I love Michelle. She's a close sister goddess of mine. And Green Earth Home, right? She's very specific. Share my life with my beloved partner. She have a sauna. Yay. Sauna, I call fire tubs. Yeah. So be specific. I want to have also finished sauna. I want to have a home. I do have right now one that's shared with family that's in Alberta. So I want to have that or something even better with a sauna where I can go skinny dipping by the lake. I don't want a lake. I want where I can go skinny dipping. Okay. So very specific. Okay. Awesome. So let's play with one more of these and then I'm going to give you the R. Irene has, let's do the swim with the dolphins. So Irene, I want you to type in the chat, how would that feel to swim with the dolphins, to have that experience? I know you haven't done it yet or experienced it yet, or maybe you have. But let's say you wanted to, how would it feel to achieve that? So you sit with that, you imagine you're swimming with them, how it would feel. And that is on my list as well for this year. So you would feel into that. So I would say, Yumala, God, source, higher power, I would love to swim with the dolphins this year in the wild. Okay. So me, I'm not interested. I have done the saltwater. Sorry. I have swam with the dolphins in the pool. No, it doesn't do it for me. I want in the wild. So be specific. So Irene could say, and I'm going to say too for myself, God, I would really love, I would really love to swim with the dolphins. And I'd love to actually swim with the dolphins with my beloved partner and or my friends. And that would just, I would feel even more connected to you, God, to be able to swim with the dolphins. That would be magical. So then I imagine myself swimming with the dolphins and how that would feel. I might even like journal a bit about that. And then I go, but God, if it doesn't happen, it's no big deal. My life is so fulfilling. I saw a hawk eagle. I've seen eagle every week since my dad died. My life is so fulfilling. You have sent me so many magical experiences. So if it doesn't happen, God, it's no big deal. Okay, so we take the pressure off. Okay, give me some thumbs up if this is serving you, or just yes in the chat if this is serving you to hear some of these examples. Okay, and now let's do R again. You're ready for the R in sparkle. So we've got sacred, pleasure, ask, and it's no big deal. Let go of the attachment. R is receive. Type receive in the chat. Receive. So most of us, myself included in the past, we actually suck at receiving. Especially as women, most of us are great at giving, and we've got this infinity. So if you've got an infinity, it's small here and it's big here. Just put B if any of you have burned out because you overgave and you didn't receive. You just gave. You didn't ask, and then you burned yourself out. I'm a burnout survivor here. And I learned for that. I'm grateful for the contrast that because now I'm not willing to do that. So instead of burning out, we want to expand our capacity to receive. We can't receive if we don't ask. Okay. It's like going to a restaurant and just sitting there. It's like you need to actually order. You need to actually ask for what you want. And I will tell you, I'm really good at restaurants. If they don't have what I want on the menu, I'll say, well, I'd like this, but with a salad, or I'd like this, or could I have the sweet potatoes with that? And you could ask, right? And then let go of the attachment. Don't be like, I have to have that. Okay. So receive. And I am grateful for believer patterning because if I did not have believer patterning, I would not be living in Mexico right now with a saltwater pool 2.5 minutes from the ocean because I needed to expand my capacity to receive. and belief for patterning, walking through the 7 steps over and over when different ick would come up, undeserving, who the fuck do I think I am to be able to do this? And guilt around my mom being in Canada, even though I cared for her. Dalmaine can relate. I've talked with Dalmaine about this because she's also a caregiver. I cared for my parents for 11 years and helped them. I know that the reason my dad was able to live and die and pass from this realm to the non-physical realm is because I was on the property. Now, my siblings may never acknowledge that, except my brother Downey, who's now in on the other side. Um, and that's okay. And in order for me to be here, I chose to forgive siblings. I chose to let go of guilt, and I chose to believe that I'm deserving of this. And I also know it is divine intended. It is aligned with source for me to be in Mexico right now for many, many reasons. And I needed to receive. I needed to receive money from clients. I needed to receive opportunities. I needed to receive love. I needed to receive healing. I've had so many gifts and blessings coming to Mexico. And part of it was saying yes to people. Part of it is saying yes to opportunities. Part of it is saying yes to adventures. So if you don't have a believer patterning coach, go to believer patterning, find one. If you resonate with me, reach out and let's transform some of those beliefs because most of us have a subconscious. Remember, I think we talked about on day 1 or day 2, just put unconscious, put the letter U in the chat if you can relate. Most of us have unconscious beliefs in that. So if we got the tip of the iceberg, underneath, we have all these beliefs that we don't even know are there. So you probably have a subconscious belief from childhood that is that you're undeserving or you're going to be arrogant or all the things, right? Um, Type yes if you know that you've got some beliefs that are actually blocking your receiving. Just put yes in the chat. I know that I've had some. And I probably still have some to clear to go to the next level of receiving. Okay. And I'm really great at receiving now. So when you chat with me, ask me about my receiving story back in 2007 with Kundalini Dance. I would not have done the training if I hadn't said yes. I had a woman gift me who I knew her first name and that was it. She actually gifted me $1,000. Now, I could have said, oh, no, 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 I can't receive that. I barely know you. It's too much. And I have actually witnessed people do that. Somebody went to give them something and they said, no, 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 I can't. That's too much. God, the divine, is giving you things through other people. And if you judge it that, oh no, I can't receive that, it's too much. That's not the way I wanted it, God. That's not how it's supposed to come. I'm supposed to work hard to get it. Okay. What if it's going to come through these other magical ways and you just get to receive? Okay. So R for receive. Where are we at for our time here? Okay. Awesome. 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 Okay. So get some support so you can expand your receiving muscle. The next one is the letter K, and it's the word no. Type no in the chat, K-N-O-W, no. I'm going to have a drink of orange juice while you're writing that down. Okay. You have to know yourself. I can't remember somebody who's more into the Bible. I grew up with a family that my dad believes he's atheist. The church was his temple, his church. Sorry, the forest was his church. But there's somewhere where it's carved, know thyself. Somebody typed that in the chat. Know thyself. You have to know thyself. You have to know who you are. You have to know that you are divine. And again, we have so many beliefs that we're not good enough. How many of you just put not? I had so many beliefs that I'm not good enough. I'm not a good enough leader. I'm not smart enough. I'm not organized enough. I'm not experienced enough. I'm not knowledgeable enough. I'm not professional enough. I'm not made up enough. I'm not dressed properly. Okay, all this critical stuff that comes in that says not, not, not. Okay, so you want to transform those beliefs and know thyself. I believe that we are each on a journey to know ourselves till we die. Okay, I will always deepen my knowing of myself. Anybody else, if you're a lifelong learner, just put LL, lifelong learner in the chat. If you're here, you're probably a lifelong learner. So I'm a lifelong learner. I want to keep learning and keep knowing myself at the next level. Yes. So know thyself. And if you decide you're curious about our pleasure program, that's another way to know yourself. I know some of you have been trying to register for your pleasure breakthrough with me. I'm going to just drop contact me on WhatsApp. My phone number is in the chat here. You have to just add +1 for Canada. So I could have done it the other way around. +1 for Canada. Just get the app, it's free. Send me a message and say pleasure breakthrough, and we'll figure it out if you can't register. Some people, for some reason, it's giving you some steps. I've had several people already register and they've had their pleasure breakthrough, so I know it's working. But just send me a message if you're having any challenges, and then I'll type it in the chat again for you at the end of our call today or shortly here. So in a pleasure breakthrough, you'll have an opportunity to get to know your desires. If you're like, oh, I don't have time to do it, I don't know how to do that. In a pleasure breakthrough, I will support you in deepening your desires. I'm going to repeat back to you. I'm going to reflect what you want. I'm going to ask you deepening questions. So every single person who has had a pleasure breakthrough, and some of you are on the call, you could type in the chat what your experience was. Even if you don't join our pleasure program, I promise you that's going to be my gift to you. You're going to get clarity on your desires, okay? And maybe even aligned with your purpose more so, or at least pointed in the right direction. We'll look at what's stopping you from having that purpose. What's the gap? What's blocking? What's in the way? And some of it might be beliefs. And then we'll look at what's the next best step. It might be to join our pleasure program. It might be to go do something else. And if you're curious about the pleasure program, the pleasure program, our 12-month program, that the doors are open right now and then they will close. So if you're curious, now's the time. And just trust your own knowing. If there's something that you're curious about, you don't need to know all the details of how it's going to work out. But if you're curious, reach out to me and let's have a chat. It's an hour. My gift to you. At some point, I won't be doing these free anymore, but right now I'm giving them as my gift to you, my birthday month here. So know thyself. You have to know who you are and know your desires. And the more you get to know you and the more you know your desires, the more you're going to sparkle and the more you are going to design and align your life with your highest purpose, with the divine, with source, with divine will. Okay. Put the letter L if you are ready to know the L in sparkle. What does the L stand for? Some of you know already. L in the chat. Put an L in the chat. And I am going to, while you're doing that, I am going to grab for some of you the link here. Okay. All right. So some of you can already just like copy this, but that's the link to book a pleasure breakthrough with me. It should work. Okay. So the next one is love. You can have all the money in the world, all your, desires, but if you don't have love, you really don't have anything. There's lots of wealthy people on the planet, and they're actually they feel very unfulfilled because they're lacking love. And I'm not talking about love like a romantic relationship. Put love in the chat. I'm talking about like pure love, like me loving the divine in you, me loving the divine in myself, me loving life, me loving the divine in each person, me being love. It's easy to be love when people are loving. But can you be love when somebody's actually being cruel and hurtful? I love to ask myself, and somebody type in this in the chat, I love to ask, what would love do? What would love do in this situation? Sometimes I'll say, what would Jesus do, right? Because Jesus and Mary Magdalene, what would Mary Magdalene do? What would love do? How would love behave right now? For me, love doesn't react. Love is like compassion. Love is like kindness. Love is like taking a breath and removing myself from a toxic situation. Love is loving myself, right? Love is moving out of an abusive situation and loving myself. It doesn't mean I have to put up with toxicity. However, once I've removed myself, I can still ask. I don't have to send it. I can ask the divine. I can ask the angel relationships to bless that person, help them find their own path into the divine. Okay. Love. Yeah. Source love, divine love, sacred. So we go back to this S. You got to have sacred and then love. You need all of these pieces to live and design your best sacred life. We are almost at time here, so I'm going to be rapid so you can have all of these. And then E is, I actually had two words for E, but I would say envision and then embody. So somebody type that in the chat, envision and embody. So you want to gift yourself time literally every single morning. I do my prayers, I write my letter to God. And when upon awakening, actually, I kind of do it when I'm in that altered state. You know, when you're in like, you're waking up, but you're not yet fully awake. And so you're in the, what is that, alpha or theta? You're in one of those zones. Who knows which one that is? So when you're in that not yet fully awake state, is it alpha or theta? One of those. You're going to be in that state. You are going to envision your life, pick one goal every morning, one of your desires. So if it's the swim with the dolphins that Irene had, you're going to imagine yourself swimming with the dolphins, even just for like Abraham Hicks says, even for 17 seconds. But let's say for 1 minute, you imagine you're there, you feel it as if it's already so. And every morning you pick one goal, one intention, one of your desires, and you lay with it, you sit with it, and then you go, it's no big deal, God. It's no big deal if it doesn't happen. And then you let go of the attachment and you give it up to the universe. You might even imagine it in a bubble, a beautiful bubble, blowing bubbles, and send it off and just let it go and say, this God or something even better beyond my wildest dreams and imagination. And then don't go and tell the whole world about it because some people will poop on your parade. Don't tell the whole world. I would tell either nobody or write it in here and write it in here and maybe tell it with like a select few, like some goddesses on the call right now. Just only tell it to those who you know will hold it sacred. And then one of the practices that we did at our Sacred Goddess Yoni Temple retreat, which we're going to do, which we do in our pleasure program. And we also we'll be doing it again next year at the this year, November, December at the Tropical Sacred Goddess Yoni Temple Retreat, is we do this game called It's Totally Possible. And those of you that have a pleasure breakthrough with me, remind me and I will teach you. It's totally possible. But I could say to Irene could say, all the things and she'll go, it's totally possible. And then I reflect back to her, yes, it's totally possible, Irene, that you could swim with the dolphins in the wild. It's totally possible, Michelle, that you could have your acreage and your beloved and your sauna and your hot tubs. And it's totally possible, Tammy, that you can have your fulfilling job because you're going to get really specific on what that is. And it's totally possible you could own your own home and write that children's book that you want to write. It's totally possible, Shannon, that you could live in Costa Rica 6 months of the year. It's totally possible. Okay. So have some fun with that. I know we're at time, but I want to do two things. I would like you to type in the chat what's one takeaway and what's one action step you're going to do from today. Who are you going to teach this to? And what's one takeaway? What's one thing you're grateful for right now? And then I'm going to stop the recording and I'm going to turn the cameras on. And those of you that can stay for a couple of minutes more, we'll do a closing circle together. So what's one takeaway and one action? One takeaway and one action. And what's one person you could share this with? I would really love your support. I would really, if this served you in any way, I would love if you go out and share it with 3 people. That's my desire. It's totally possible that some of you will go out and share this with 3 or more people, and you're going to help me to build my YouTube up to 1,000 in the next month. It's totally possible that could happen. But if it doesn't, God, it's no big deal. If this supported you in some way, that would be a great way to express your gratitude to me, is go and share this with others. Thank you, Raluca. Awesome. Okay, Shannon's getting very clear on her desires, writing down specific details of her desires. Yes. Morning practice is my devotion. Yes. teach it to women in your Zoom group. Yes, yes, awesome, beautiful. Theta is the one we were talking about. Okay, thanks, Michelle. All right. So please do share below if you're watching this later on YouTube or you're rewatching it and you were part of the live. Please share what is one takeaway and what is one action. And go and share this with 3 people. I'll be emailing the link out. Those of you that are here live, I will email the link out as soon as I have it uploaded. And I'm going to shut off the recording. And those of you that can stay, I would love just to have a couple minutes together. I love each of you. Raise your right arm, give yourself a pat on the back for showing up here today. And it's totally possible that all your desires could be fulfilled, and many of them this year. So go for sparkle. Remember what sparkle means and go and teach it to someone else. Let me know who you're going to teach it to. All right. Mwah. I love you all. And I'm going to shut the recording off.